Welcome back to Upper Michigan Today, everybody. We're back with Amy Turner and Paige Shaw of Apiary Life Studio. We are starting the vision board construction process, and Amy's going to explain the art of visualization.
Yeah, perfect. So visualization is such an important tool. Things that we do begin with what we think, and if we want to change what is happening in our lives, we first have to be able to even imagine it in its possibility.
What if I don't know what I want in life?
If you don't know what you want, I think an absolutely beautiful way to start is with what we don't want. What do you not want? And that is a really cool thing. A way that I go about how I live my life and how I teach concepts to others is looking at both sides of a thing. And sometimes things have more than one side, or more than two sides, excuse me. You know, our lives are multifaceted and very integrated. And so to look at all different sides and to think of, wow, if I feel really strongly about this, what's a softer feeling related to that? If I feel a soft feeling, what's a more intense feeling related to that? What's the opposite of that? What's a synonym of that? And these types of things help us get to know ourselves. Get to know what we want and what we don't want. So the process for people at home, if you want to make a vision board, I suggest you take 2 magazines max. You have a third one on standby if you think that maybe you need it, but 2 max, because there's no reason to get decision fatigue. And what you do is you set a timer. Usually this happens over 2.5 hours when I do a full workshop. More if I want a little extra socialization with people. But if you're doing it at home, I would recommend setting a 25, 30-minute timer. Open the magazine, take your scissors, and start ripping out, cutting out whatever you want that appeals to you in any way. It can be textures, words. You can cut things up and put them back together. But don't worry about the assembly at first. Just get used to saying yes to what you respond to, yes to what you love, yes to what you're like, oh, I want that. Or, ooh, for some reason that feels curious. And get them all out, and then once that timer goes off, trust that it's been enough. Trust that what you do, the bite you take off to chew now, is enough.
And that's funny because you were like, you guys, it's time to start gluing, and we wanted to just keep pulling things out. But sometimes you do just have to stop.
Yep, yep, it's time to go. And so at that point, you start arranging, you start gluing. If you don't have glue, use tape. This doesn't matter. It's a process of you saying from the universe, I want to cut this out because it represents a thought or feeling or a desire that I have. And that's all these boards are, representation, to remind you of what you want, what you are working toward. And in order to do that, the other side of that is that we have to be willing to say no to things that are not aligned with this.
I love that.
It's so hard to say no. We all have illness knocking at our door or people around us. We all have financial ups and downs, everybody. We all have people telling us their ideas versus what we want. And we, as the people living our lives, have to be willing to claim ourselves and to speak for ourselves and to not get blown over every time the wind blows.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have advice for saying no?
That you first practice saying yes to yourself.
Yeah.
You first practice saying yes to what it is that you stand for, and start to learn what you stand for by recognizing what doesn't feel good to you.
All right, I think this is a good spot to take a break.
Okay.
We're going to keep putting these together. You can tell I have not got to the glue. I clearly have an issue with organization. Maybe that's a challenge I'm going to put on. But when we come back, we'll keep going in this process.
More time for organization. Yeah. Perhaps. You're doing